Governor Chris Christie produced another of the debate's most talked about moments. He reacted as Trump and Fiorina criticized each other's business records.
Carly, listen, you can interrupt everybody else on the stage, you can't interrupt me, okay? The fact is that we don't want to hear about your careers, back and forth and volleying back and forth about who did well and who did poorly. You're both successful people. Congratulations. You know who's not successful? The middle class in this country, who's getting plowed over by Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. Let's start talking about those issues tonight and stop this childish back and forth between the two of you.
Ms. Fiorina, I want to give you...
The New Jersey governor is with us now from the Reagan Presidential Library. Good morning to you, Chris Christie. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Happy to be here this morning.
So what was your strategy last night, and did you accomplish it?
It's just to be myself, as I said beforehand. I think in a field this crowded, what you really need to do is let people get to know you, be yourself. That's what I tried to do last night, and really to focus on the problems of the people that were actually watching the debate, rather than focusing on the arguments between all the people at the debate.
But it's interesting, you've talked so much in the past about your business record, yet you criticize the other two candidates for talking about theirs. How come?
Now, they weren't doing proof points last night with each other, Gail. What they were doing was getting into kind of the typical personal food fight. In the first debate, it was between Jeb and Donald Trump. Then yesterday, it was between Donald Trump and Carly Fiorina. And they were, going tit for tat with each other. That adds nothing to people's knowledge about what kind of president you would be. What really lets them know that is, who are you going to care about? It's about time that I express to folks that everything I've learned on the campaign trail, which is that it's the problems of regular middle-class folks in this country that really should be the concern of this campaign, and not, who made more money at what job.
Governor, do you think that after this debate, the second debate, which featured a lot of attacks on Donald Trump, that he will be declining in terms of polls and in terms of attention?
Charlie, I have no way of knowing that. I'm definitely not a pollster. But all I can tell you is that I think last night was very illustrative in terms of who's got the right priorities for this country and who's prepared to be president of the United States. And I feel really good about the way the night went for us.
I have to ask you, Governor, because while you were at one end of the stage, it seemed like a lot of the attention was focused on Governor Trump. When you look at the numbers, you were in the top 5, but there was a whole 32 minutes where you were not called on. Were you happy with how this debate was conducted?
I thought it went fine. Listen, that 32 minutes was the most boring 32 minutes of the debate. I think that's probably pretty clear from the ratings. And so, listen, there's 11 people up there. There's 11 good people. What you try to do is just use the time that you get as wisely as you can. I feel like, listen, when you're talking about other people's issues, the people of the United States' problems, that's what they want to hear about. They want to hear about what are you going to do to try to make the government work for them. They're frustrated. They're angry about the fact that the government doesn't work, and I wanted to try last night to address them directly, and I'm glad that we had the opportunity to do it as often as we did.
Governor, where are we in this race now for the Republican nomination?
Still very early, Charlie. Still very early. I think what you can see, though, is that the folks who are really serious, the folks who are prepared to talk about foreign policy, to talk about domestic policy, to talk about the intelligence community and defense, are showing themselves to come to the fore. But what matters the most is those people who are willing to say to the American people, I understand what you're going through. I'm learning from this campaign, which I definitely am, about the things that concern them the most. And I have plans to address what you're concerned about. But most importantly, I'm the type of leader who you can trust and who will remember these lessons when I get to the Oval Office on January 20th of 2017.
3 times during the debate, you said it's not about us, it's about you, the voters. Do you think you know the voters better than your other opponents?
I think I'm getting to know the voters very well, Gail, and I think given where I come from, like I said last night, people were talking about who's an outsider. Well, if you're a Republican in New Jersey, you're an outsider every day. And so I've vetoed 400 bills from a Democratic legislature. I've vetoed more tax increases than any governor in American history, according to Americans for Tax Reform. And so at the end, I think I'm getting to know their concerns really well. And I think that they're going to, in the end, pick a guy from New Jersey who's like them, who's one of them, who understands them, and will bring that understanding to the Oval Office.
Governor Christie, great to see you this morning. Thank you so much for joining us.